Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of As I See It. If you clicked on this video because you recognize my face, just a little word of caution, this is not my RV channel. This is my As I See It channel, which is exclusively about politics. For those who want to hear my views on politics and current events and things like that, now is your chance to click away. If that's not what you're here for. So last night was a little rough for a lot of us, and I thought it would be a good idea to do a video. I did a little poll earlier to see if you wanted a video or a live stream. I thought maybe a lot of people might want to chat to kind of vent and work through their feelings, but most of you said you want a video. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how I was feeling, about my impressions about the debate, and how I'm feeling about it now. And finally, I think what some takeaways are and some action items for all of us. So I watched the debate last night and also had a live chat with my patrons. I had extremely high hopes going into the debate. I had really high hopes. I really thought Biden was going to mop the floor with the orange mop head. That's pretty much what I was saying on Twitter before the event. Sorry, the gnats are really bad. I should have put some bug spray on, so I'm going to be swatting. Maybe many of us Democrats maybe set ourselves up a little bit, because I think a lot of us had really high expectations because we know what a lunatic Trump is. We know what a liar he is. We know we've seen his rallies where he just can't finish a sentence, is incoherent, loses his words, and I expected that Trump to show up. But what I think happened is I think the box that they put the candidates in during the debate last night helped constrain him. Unfortunately, the very format of the debate helped keep him in line. And you could also see how disciplined he was. I mean, he had coaching all week long. He was like, I don't have to go into hiding at Camp David to practice. He had some coaching. That was very, very clear. I mean, you could see the self-restraint, and he doesn't usually have that. So I think we all expected Trump to just be normal, lunatic, outrageous, incoherent Trump, and we expected the Biden that we have seen most of the time, not the caricature that the MAGA Republicans have painted of him as Sleepy Joe Biden. I mean, it's insane that we've never really seen Sleepy Joe Biden, that it's a caricature that they created, and unfortunately, that's the Biden that was there last night. So our expectations were really high, that Trump was going to self-destruct, implode on stage, and that the Biden that we know exists would show up. And everything that could have gone wrong, the exact opposite of everything that we hoped, happened. Trump was restrained. Of course, he lied through his teeth. I mean, he even lied about lowering the prices of insulin, which is something Biden has done. He lied about Biden wanting to strip us away of Medicaid and Social Security, which is something the freaking Republicans, I mean, his lies are maddening. And we were all dumbfounded as we watched Biden literally become, before our very eyes, everything we feared he might be, and everything the Republicans have been saying that he is. Sleepy Joe Biden, too weak to be a leader, doesn't have the cognitive skills, the cognitive abilities to be able to run the country. Who the hell was this guy that showed up in Biden's place last night? I know that on the live chat, we were all just like, what the actual F? I mean, like, who is this? And I think a lot of us woke up with a sinking feeling in our guts this morning, just like we did after the 2016 election. I know I, for one, I think the first thing I tweeted was, goodbye, America. It's been nice, but we're done. The concern wasn't that Biden was going to lose voters. who all were already going to vote for him. None of us have changed our minds. We all know that a debate does not a president make, right? A debate is not who Biden is. Biden has a track record that proves he can lead, that proves that the economy is better under him than it has been in a very long time, and certainly under the former guy, that he can make decisions, that he can be a player in international relations, that he can be respected by other countries and other leaders around the world. We all know that. The concern was that this debate was open to everybody, undecided and moderate voters, or those in the middle who have not yet decided. I guess those all fall into undecided. That was what was most heartbreaking about it. Biden had a chance to win over enough votes to win the election, and instead we all feared that he lost those votes. That's it. All of the undecided, all the middle of the road, all the people who aren't really plugged into politics, who tuned into the debate last night to find out what's true and what's a lie, saw the Biden that the Republicans have been saying is Biden. And that is our fear. Not that he's going to lose any voters, because I don't think he will, but those middle of the road, those people who haven't made up their minds yet, he certainly did not win them over last night. And that's scary as hell. So what happened? How did this happen? Couple of things. And I saw Biden did a rally in North Carolina today, and I just got done watching some excerpts of that. Biden showed up for those rallies. Biden, strong, determined, talking shit about Trump and what a liar he is, and talking up his record and having energy and being able to put a cohesive sentence together.
He lied about how great he was on crime. I had to remind him that he oversaw a record increase in murder rates in 2020. On my watch, violent crime has hit a 50-year low. There's more to do with a 50-year low. And then I pointed out that the only convicted criminal on the stage last night was Donald Trump. When I thought about his 34 felony convictions, his sexual assault on a woman in a public place, his being fined $400 million for business fraud, I thought to myself, Donald Trump isn't just a convicted felon. Donald Trump is a one-man crime wave.
And not the doe-eyed, darting-eyed, jaw-drop, looking down, sleepy guy we had last night. So here is what I think happened, not that it matters at this point, but here is what I think. Number one, I think he was overprepared. I think he had so many handlers telling him what to do, how to act, what to say, what not to say. Don't react to Trump. Don't argue with Trump. You don't want to stoop to his level. You need to rise above his lies. You need to show that you are not the petty little petulant child that Trump is. I also think that with all of the handlers and all of the preparation he had been doing over the last several days, I think the over-preparedness paralyzed him. And I don't have a speaking impediment. I don't know what it's like to have a speaking impediment, but I know that a stutter is a very deep, or leaves a very deep psychological scar, in that it makes you afraid and timid. And I think that compounded the issue. I think that he was so afraid of his stutter, which comes out more, and I think he was insanely nervous. When he first started speaking, all of us in the chat said, "Oh my God, slow down, Biden. Slow down. Why are you talking so fast?" I know when I'm nervous, I talk fast, even in videos. In my first year or whatever, I talked super fast. It's really hard to learn how to slow down. And when you get nervous or excited, you start speaking really fast again. So what it all boils down to for me, this is an 80-year-old man, 83-year-old man with a speech impediment, with a bunch of handlers telling him what to say, what not to say, side by side with this freaking lunatic, lying piece of crap who bullies everybody. Biden had the weight, literally the weight of the world on his shoulders last night. Who wouldn't be nervous? Who wouldn't be nervous? Trump. The only weight Trump had on his shoulders was self-preservation. He was there to stay out of frickin' jail. That's the only thing he had riding. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. To, you know, like if I don't do well tonight, I'm going to go to prison for the rest of my life. That's a lot. But that's not as much as having, as a thinking, feeling, empathetic, kind person like Biden is. Biden is a good person. Good people feel the weight of the moment. He felt the weight of the moment. The entire democracy, our entire country, 250 years of history were riding on his shoulders last night. You want to talk about pressure? 250 years, this country has been almost 250 years. I think we're 2 years away from the anniversary. This country has been on a path of, you know, democratic republic, whatever you want to call it, liberal democracy. The guy next to him completely wants to overthrow that. And millions of people are on board with that. And a guy who's not young, who is running the strongest country on this planet. He's currently in that position. All Trump has to do is show up to court and go to rallies and get, you know, pats on the back. Biden is running a damn country and has been doing it really well. On top of that, he has to campaign and show up for a debate and try to hold his own with a freaking lunatic next to him. And the only stakes are the future of our country, of our democracy, of people's rights, LGBTQ rights, civil rights, women's rights. That's all. That's all he had to deal with last night. He had a lot on his shoulders. And we expected him to be able to handle it better, but he's a human being, and that's one of the things we love about him. He's a human being. He feels our pain. He felt the weight of the moment. He knew what was at stake last night. And I think maybe he was tired and over-prepared, and the speech impediment all, I think, caused some kind of paralysis. And we saw that. He didn't know what to do. And he was probably, I'm feeling frustrated for him. Here he knows how important this moment is, and he's got all these things running through his head about, I should do this, I should say this, I need to spell out my records and my numbers and tell everybody what I did, but yet I have this lunatic constantly lying. It's an impossible situation. It's an impossible situation. I would have liked to, I'm curious, how would a Gavin Newsom have handled it? How would a Pete Buttigieg have handled it? How would a Kamala Harris have handled it? Not an easy situation to be in. So it was a disaster. It was disappointing. I think many of us felt that this is the end of our democracy. That's it. Biden's performance just handed over the election. Here's the reality. Take the emotion out of it for a minute. We're 4 months away from the election. We still have time. It was one debate. It was one debate. He could debate again. He can go out and continue to do rallies like he did today, where he came out strong. I'm going to try to insert. Let's see a clip of Biden today. The real Joe Biden.
And unlike the other guy, we're going to stand up to dictators like Putin, because America bows to no one ever. More than anything, we're going to preserve, protect, and defend our democracy. Because more than anything else, that is what is at stake in America this election. Your freedom, your democracy. America itself is at stake. Now, folks, I don't know what you did last night, but I spent 90 minutes on the stage debating the guy who has the morals of an alley cat.
That's the Biden we all know and love. And if he continues to do this, and he continues to go out there, and if the media continues to cover it right, if all of us, we are the foot soldiers of democracy. I've said that before. We need to talk truth to lies whenever we can. I know I'm dealing with my own family members who are Trump supporters, and you just don't want to bring it up because you know it's falling on deaf ears. But maybe if you can just every once in a while just throw in hey, gas prices are coming down. Hey, and I'm doing this in my RV videos. Fun fact, we're producing more oil than we ever have in our country. That's it. Fun fact, we are producing more oil. And hopefully the curious will hear that from someone they trust and maybe step out of their bubble for a split second and maybe do the research. That's my hope. So the real Joe Biden, who has run this country extremely well for the last 3.5 years, showed up today. I have a feeling he's going to continue to show up. The real Joe Biden was unleashed today. Last night, he was tethered by the expectations of his handlers, of his researchers, of his advisors, of the American people, and even by Trump himself. He was leashed. He was caged as much as Trump was. And I think that cage paralyzed him. But when Biden is allowed to be Biden, when he is allowed to be Dark Brandon, and he's allowed to talk shit, and I think his handlers probably said, don't talk shit. Don't stoop to his level. We need to show the American people that you're a professional and that you don't stoop to that level. I don't know if that's right or wrong, to be honest with you, because we've never been in this situation before. But the real Biden showed up today. I think after last night, the real Biden will continue to show up. I don't have any doubts whatsoever that he is still capable of running this country. I don't. I also think that somebody who has a speech impediment, who maybe can't put a thought together like that, might take a little more time to process. He can still make the important decisions. He can still think, right? I mean, he still has the ability to think critically and to be able to plan and to be strategic and to be able to stand toe-to-toe with world leaders, as opposed to a liar, sycophant, morally bankrupt con artist whose only reason for running for office is self-preservation. Self-enrichment, self-preservation. So no matter what, Biden has my vote, because we can't afford. What's the worst thing Biden can do? Make a couple mistakes or end up having to go retire and Kamala Harris becomes the president, which I think is what a lot of people are afraid of. The worst case scenario with Biden and his current state versus worst case scenario or even best case scenario with Trump, it's not even apples to apples. It's apples to bowling balls. So the real Biden showed up today. I think Biden is fine. I think it was a one-time it was a bad night. We've all had bad days. Presidents are allowed to have bad days. His job is running the country. It is not debating lunatics, okay? So if we look at his record of how well he has run the country versus debating a lunatic, he has kicked ass. Last night was rough for all of us. But here is what we need to do. Besides speaking truth to lies, besides being diligent about standing up for democracy, get involved. I've already made plans to get involved. I'm probably going to be a poll watcher. I'm already getting involved with my local Democratic Party. I am going to do whatever it takes. I'm already donating every month more money than I've ever donated before, both to Joe Biden and Act Blue. And we need to also support down ballot candidates. We need blue all down the ballot, all the way down to judges and freaking PTA. School boards. We need blue. We need attorneys general. Everything needs to be blue. So get involved. Find out what you can do. If you can't do much, donate as much money as you can to Biden, to Act Blue, to the Democrats in any way that you can. But I wanted to leave you with hope. This isn't over. We're not done. It's freaking a scary time to be alive in America, but Biden is not as infirmed, if that's the right word, as he seemed last night. He's fine, and whenever he does speeches like he did today, showing who he really is, share it far and wide. Share it on your Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it with everybody you know, because we need to convince those swing voters. All right, I hope this helped make you feel a little bit better. Last night was rough. And thank you so much for being here, and get out there. We are the foot soldiers of democracy. Being a patriot is not just a right, it's a responsibility, and we have work to do. All right, thanks for being here. I'll see you next time. And go Joe Biden.